Mr. President.
Democrat leader.
Mr. President, we're staring into the abyss of the healthcare crisis here in America. And what is Donald Trump doing as we stare into the abyss of the healthcare crisis? He's flying off yet again to another corner of the world while people's premiums are set to skyrocket here at home. He shut down the government, Trump has, for 23 days, the second longest shutdown ever, by refusing to negotiate with Democrats. He's bulldozing the East Wing of the White House to make way for his own ballroom. His own Justice Department is getting ready to cut himself a personal check to Donald Trump for $230 million out of taxpayer money when health people are suffering in terms of their health care premiums. And then he caught trying to push a nominee with proud Nazi and racist views. And again, we're in the middle of a health care crisis that will decimate tens of millions of Americans. But Donald Trump doesn't seem to want to touch the topic with a 10-foot pole, and has decided to fly off to another country yet again without negotiating with Democrats. Leader Jeffries and I asked him to sit down and talk with us. We said, we need to talk. He refused. Donald Trump would literally rather fly to another country than meet with Democrats to negotiate on health care, because he knows the American people are on one side of the issue and his base, his right-wing MAGA base, is on the other. He's afraid to touch the issue. So he does his version of Johnson's shutting down the House. He flies away. It's hard to fathom someone more out of touch and oblivious to our nation's struggles than the current president. Let's take the ballroom, for instance. This is the image Donald Trump doesn't want America to see. This is the picture Donald Trump told his people to hide from the American people. And do you know what the picture represents? It's not just the desecration of the White House. It shows that Donald Trump is not focused on fixing health care, but rather on vanity projects like this one that don't do anything to benefit the American people. They only benefit Trump and his ego. Donald Trump is telling the American people, no Medicaid for you. The ballroom for me. Americans are appalled at these images. A YouGov poll this week found that 50% of Americans oppose this ballroom project, only 33% in support. To Americans, the image of Donald Trump adding a wrecking ball to the White House is a symbol for what he is doing to the whole country. Yes, this image Americans are seeing, and they don't like it. They don't like it. I asked my Republican colleagues, where are you? But frankly, the East Wing teardown is not the only thing Donald Trump is focused on instead of fixing health care. He is also using the presidency to enrich himself. This week we learned that Trump is pushing his own DOJ to write him a $230 million check because his feelings got hurt after being investigated for criminal wrongdoing. While Americans are agonizing over health care, Donald Trump is using the presidency to reach into the taxpayers' till and put money in his own pocket. Imagine the gall of this president who tells the American people, no health care for you, but you pay me an additional $230 million. Again, I ask my Republican colleagues, where are you? And again, I don't expect Republicans to oppose Donald Trump very often, but they should be outraged by the way he's pillaging the DOJ to enrich himself. And finally, Americans are all getting awfully fed up with the Trump administration's incompetence, corruption, and chaos. And the data shows it. A few days ago, a Gallup poll showed movement you rarely see among the electorate in a short amount of time. Democrats' party ID is now 7 points higher since the start of the year. 7 points higher. It was even with Republicans. Are you a Democrat or Republican? When Trump took office, it's now plus 7 Democrat. You rarely see that kind of movement for that kind of number so quickly. It should be an immediate red light warning to my Republican colleagues. To quote the pollster Harry Enton, who works for CNN, "I was shocked to see how Democrats have gained on party ID per Gallup. Democrats lead by 7 points versus a tie at the start of the year. Looks a lot more like the 2018 cycle than 2022. Indeed, Democrats have gained House seats in all midterms since 1990, when party ID looks like what Gallup has." That's Harry Enton, not me. But you don't need a political genius to understand why these numbers are moving. People see what Donald Trump is making. People see that Donald Trump is making their lives worse on costs, on health care, and on their financial security. We spend so much time here in Washington focused on the day-to-day back and forth. But people back home don't care about the back and forth here in Washington. They care about how much they're paying for groceries. They care about their rising electricity bills. They care about the dramatic increase so many will pay in their health care premiums very soon. What has Donald Trump done while all this is happening, while people are just sitting down at the dinner table on Friday nights and wondering how the heck are they going to pay the bills? He's enacted the biggest health care cuts in American history. He's closing rural hospitals. Americans can see with their own eyes what Trump is doing. And so I say to my Republican colleagues, beware. This Gallup poll is a warning that Americans are fed up with the high costs that go up each week and the Trump administration's incompetence, corruption, and chaos. And it's only going to get worse the more Donald Trump doubles down on this shutdown and on his failed policies. Now, the Johnson bill. That is Ron Johnson, Senator Johnson. Right now, on day 23 of the longest total government shutdown in American history, millions of American families are wondering how they'll make rent, pay their bills, or put food on the table. And what's the Republican response? To hand Donald Trump and his right-hand man, Russ Vought, the originator of the evil, awful Project 2025, to hand Russell Vought even more power to decide who gets paid and who gets punished. Let me make one point very clear. The shutdown is on Donald Trump's back, and the American people know it. They know that Republicans have the presidency, the House, and the Senate, and the shutdown is on them. So, Senator Ron Johnson and Republicans are feeling the heat, have come up with this proposal. Johnson and Republicans know, because they're feeling the heat, that the American people know exactly who's in charge: Donald Trump and Republicans. When workers are laid off, when they're furloughed, when they miss a paycheck, America knows who's to blame. It's on Donald Trump's back, and that's why Donald Trump and his allies are pushing this bill. The bill would not reopen the government, which is the only permanent solution to this crisis. And Democrats want to reopen the government as quickly as we can. We want to sit down with Thune, with Johnson, with Trump, and negotiate a way to address this horrible health care crisis. We also want to make sure every last federal worker who has suffered during the Trump shutdown is taken care of. So that's why Democrats are offering two solutions that actually include all of our federal employees, not just the ones the president picks and chooses. Oh, I'll lay you off, I'll furlough you, I won't do you, I like you, I don't like you. That's not the way you govern, but that's how Trump seems to govern. Our bill is an antidote to that awful way that Trump uses when he picks and chooses winners and losers that he likes and hates. The Republican bill is a ruse. It's nothing more than another tool for Trump to hurt federal workers and American families and to keep this shutdown going for as long as he wants. We will not give Donald Trump a license to play politics with people's livelihoods. That's why we oppose this bill, the Johnson bill, because it doesn't end the pain of the shutdown, it extends it. The only way to pay every federal worker is for Republicans to get serious, sit down with Democrats, avert their health care crisis, and reopen the government. I yield the floor.